Sowing in tears, what does it really mean? Simple, it means that there is no reaping without sowing. And this applies physically and spiritually. Let's take an example of paddy harvest. I don't know if you all have got the privilege to plant a paddy, and you can see after all the preparation when the ground is ready and goes to sow, you can see you're sowing seeds and all. The plantation, we don't just leave it like that. It has to be monitored regularly. And finally comes the time of harvest, the time of reaping. You can see him smiling naturally. Tells us, verse 6 of Psalm 126 tells us that before getting this harvest was a time of weeping, this time of toiling. It's not easy in the physical aspect, and I'm giving an example of the paddy plant. Now, similarly, now day to day life, if we want to get fruits in our life, we need similarly planning, preparing, monitoring. We need immediate actions day to day. Finally it turns out to be beautiful. We are the clay in God's palm. He's a potter with a clay. Every day God saves us to beauty. If we harden, it cannot go as the potter wants. But when it's soft, the potter will mold it in its shape. You don't know how a seed once inside the soil will bloom or not. But when God blesses, that seed that you have sown comes out well. And similarly, anything in your life, whatever you do, when it's accordance with God's word and when you're obedient to God, He multiplies it. A seed, it dies for a while, but that seed, when it comes up, becomes a big tree and gives fruits. If the Lord builds, your house will be built. If the Lord watches, your house will be watched. Especially at this time of pandemic, God is the one we need to trust. We need to give Him His part to allow things to happen His way. It's us, it's you who is responsible for the blessing to be in your life or not to be in your life. God is ready to bless. He blesses everyone. He's a just God. But it's up to you. Do you give Him that privilege to bless you? There is a time for everything. So, my dear friends, you need to understand that if we are struggling at this point of time for God's kingdom, if we are trying hard, laboring, people not able to understand, be patient. You will have your time where you will rejoice, you will carry those sheaves. Third time Jesus asks, do you love me, Peter? Then Peter finally said, Lord, you know everything, you know my heart. You know that I love you. Feed my sheep. At this point of time, we all are asked to feed the lambs, the sheep, your church member, your believers, those who don't know Christ. Whatever you're doing for the Lord and whatever your struggles are, your labor is not in vain in the Lord. God will reward you for what you're doing for Him, for His people.